Have you ever noticed how the moment you start caring, the moment you start giving, texting, chasing, explaining, proving, something in her eyes shifts? Her attention fades, her interest dulls, her desire evaporates like mist in the morning sun, and you sit there wondering what changed. You didn't say anything wrong. You didn't become less attractive overnight. You didn't offend her, disrespect her, or push her away. In fact, you did more. You showed effort. You showed consistency. You showed devotion. And yet, that's the moment she lost the hunger. But watch what happens when you pull back. When you stop over-communicating. When you stop chasing validation. When your responses become slow, calm, and unbothered. When your presence becomes limited, not guaranteed. Suddenly, her energy changes. She starts looking twice at your messages. She begins to reply faster. She becomes more careful with her words. She starts asking questions. She watches your online status. She studies your silence. She goes from relaxed to restless, from secure to unsure, from content to curious. She begins to wonder, why isn't he trying anymore? Did I lose him? Was I not enough? Has he found someone else? Did I misread his feelings? And that curiosity turns into fascination. Fascination turns into preoccupation. Preoccupation turns into obsession. And here's the brutal truth. A woman does not fall for the man she understands. She falls for the man she cannot fully read, because uncertainty is the strongest psychological glue in human attraction. This is what Niccolo Machiavelli understood centuries ago, something modern men have completely forgotten. Power does not come from being understood. Power comes from being unpredictable, not chaotic, not emotional, not unstable, unpredictable. A man whose next move cannot be assumed. A man whose approval cannot be commanded. A man whose attention cannot be bought with just beauty. Think about every story of dangerous seduction, every romance novel, every movie villain women secretly love. It is never the man who is too available. It's the man who has depth she can't fully grasp, has silence she can't penetrate, has a mission she can't interrupt, has a center she cannot shake. This is not arrogance. This is power. This is not manipulation. This is self-respect weaponized. This is not playing games. This is understanding nature. Men lose attraction when something is too difficult to maintain. Women lose attraction when something is too easy to obtain. The man who bends himself to be liked loses. The man who stands firm in who he is becomes magnetic. So understand this. This is not a video for men who need reassurance. This is not for the man who texts paragraphs when ignored. This is not for the man who asks, "Did I do something wrong?" This is not for the man who desperately wants to be chosen. This is for the man who is willing to choose himself. The man who is ready to control his emotions, guard his presence, condition his attention, and command his space first. Because once you master yourself, once you become the man who does not flinch, break, beg, or crumble, women will feel it. Not because you said anything, not because you acted tough, but because your energy shifts. You become the mountain, she becomes the climber. You become the prize, she becomes the pursuer. You become the fire, she becomes the moth. So listen carefully, not as entertainment, not as theory, but as a transformation of identity. Because if you apply what comes next, she will not just desire you. She will chase you. She will compete for you. She will fear losing you. She will hunt you. And once she is the hunter, you are in control. Part 1. The psychological trap of predictability. Every man has lived through this moment, the moment he thought doing more would make her want him more. You start off strong. She's interested, responding fast, laughing at your jokes, asking questions, leaning in. You think, great, she likes me. Let me show her even more of my interest. So you text her more often, compliment her more sincerely, show her you care, make yourself available, make time for her, prioritize her. You think you're building connection, but what you're actually doing is removing the mystery. You are revealing your cards too early. You are telling her, I have no challenge. I have no standards. You already won. And here's the brutal psychological truth. Women value the men they feel they must earn. They disregard the men who give themselves too easily. This is because of how the female mind is wired. A woman's desire is reward-based. She wants something she believes is special, rare, and not easily accessed. When you become predictable, she stops imagining. And when she stops imagining, she stops feeling. Because emotion lives in the unknown. Curiosity is the seed. Uncertainty is the oxygen. Mystery is the fire, but most men kill fire before it ever has a chance to grow. They rush. They over-explain. They show too much eagerness. They respond instantly. They are available at all times. They become predictable, and predictability is psychological death in attraction. Think of it like a movie. If you know everything that's going to happen, you get bored. If the movie has twists, tension, suspense, unpredictability, you lean forward in your seat. Attraction works the exact same way. When she cannot fully read you, she thinks. She analyzes. She imagines. She wonders. She feels. Your unpredictability forces her mind to stay engaged. But when you make everything obvious, she relaxes. She stops thinking. She stops imagining. She stops trying. And the moment she stops trying, desire collapses. Why predictable men bore women? A predictable man messages the same way every time. Compliments at predictable moments. Responds immediately. Always says yes. Always agrees. Never challenges. Never creates contrast. He becomes emotionally flat. No tension. No contrast. No polarity. She feels like she already knows him, and therefore, there is nothing left to discover. But a woman does not fall for what is known. She falls for what she cannot fully understand. The unknown triggers fascination. Fascination turns into emotional simulation, and emotional stimulation becomes addiction. This is why Machiavelli said, "The promise of something greater is more powerful than what is already given." She must always feel there is more to you she has not yet uncovered. Predictability makes you small. Unpredictability makes you vast. When you stop trying to prove yourself, when you stop rushing to reassure her, when you stop trying to keep her interested, when you stop chasing, when you stop explaining, when you stop reacting to her tests, something powerful happens. You become bigger in her mind. She starts to wonder, what are you thinking? Why are you so calm? Why do you not need her validation? What do you have going on? Why are you not affected by her distance? She begins to create stories in her head. Those stories are where obsession is born. Because imagination is stronger than reality, a woman will obsess more over what she cannot see than what she sees right in front of her. So where does predictability really come from? It comes from fear. The fear of losing her. The fear of not being enough. The fear she will find someone else. The fear you aren't worth staying for. And fear makes you cling, and clinging makes you predictable. The predictable man reveals this fear in everything he does. But the man who is grounded, the man who is centered, the man who walks slowly, speaks slowly, chooses slowly, he shows no fear of loss, no urgency, no emotional pressure, and that is the man a woman cannot resist, because he is the man she cannot control. Your transformation begins here. You are not becoming cold. You are not becoming manipulative. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming unpredictably composed. You are becoming the man who thinks before he speaks, observes more than he explains, responds only when it aligns with his value, gives attention in controlled doses, does not chase affection and he attracts it. You are becoming the man who is desired, not demanding, chased, not chasing, remembered, not forgotten. And once a woman realizes she cannot predict you, she will spend her days trying to figure you out. That is the beginning of obsession. Part 2, the Machiavellian emotional schedule. Most men fail in attraction because they give too much access too soon. They hand over their presence, their attention, their time, and their emotional availability without requiring anything in return. And here's the truth most men avoid facing. What is easily accessed is rarely respected. Women don't value the man who is always there. Women value the man who is selectively there, the man whose presence is not guaranteed but earned. This is where the Machiavellian emotional schedule enters. It is not about playing games. It is not about pretending not to care. It is about controlling the dosage of your presence. Think of your attention like a rare luxury item. If it's always available, it loses meaning. If it's limited, it becomes desirable. So here is the schedule. Give warmth only when she invests, not when she simply exists. If she asks thoughtful questions, opens up emotionally, or genuinely tries, that is when you give your presence fully. Withdraw when she becomes passive or entitled. If she gets dry, distant, or takes your attention for granted, you don't argue. You don't announce your withdrawal. You simply pull back, no emotional reaction, No passive-aggressive tone. Just calm distance. Return only after time has passed. Not after a minute. Not after an hour. After you feel centered, not anxious. This pattern creates psychological tension, the foundation of desire. She will feel the warmth of your presence, the chill of your absence, the yearning in the silence, the excitement when you return. This rhythm keeps her emotionally engaged, because she never fully has you even when she feels close. And that's the key. She must feel like she is always on the edge of earning more of you, not because you're withholding love, but because you value yourself first. Part 3. Silence, the most dangerous weapon. Silence is feared by weak men and understood by powerful ones. Weak men rush to fill silence. With explanation, with reassurance, with apology, with effort that wasn't requested. They are terrified that silence means loss. But powerful men know something different. Silence does not destroy attraction. Silence exposes it, because in silence she is left alone with her thoughts. And a woman's mind is her most powerful emotional amplifier. Silence forces her to confront her insecurities, her curiosity, her desire to stay valuable in your eyes. When you are silent, she will start to reread your messages, replay your tone, analyze your last interaction, question her behavior, wonder about your feelings. She becomes her own source of obsession. The key is how you use silence. Your silence must be calm, not reactive, controlled, not emotional, intentional, not desperate. You are not withdrawing to punish. You are withdrawing to maintain your dignity and value. Silence tells her. You do not chase validation. You do not fear her losing interest. You are at peace with yourself. You do not collapse under uncertainty. And this is what separates men who are chosen from men who choose. The man who can remain silent is the man who holds the power dynamic. Not through force, not through dominance, but through unshakable inner stability. Your silence says, I will not fight for a place in your life. But if you want a place in mine, show me. A woman will chase the man she fears losing. And silence creates the possibility of loss, which is the birthplace of her desire to pursue. Part 4. The law of selective reward. Women don't fall for the men who give them everything. Women fall for the men who give them something worth earning. Human psychology is simple. We value what we work for. We disregard what is handed to us. This is why the most addictive romantic experiences are tied to intermittent reward, not constant affection. You reward effort, not existence. If she initiates conversations, shows genuine interest, asks thoughtful questions, tries to see you, that's when you respond with warmth, presence, and masculine affection. But when she gets lazy, responds dry, stops investing effort, assumes you'll stay no matter what. You do nothing. No lecture. No emotional confrontation. No why are you being distant. You simply do less. And the moment your effort decreases, she feels the difference. Women track emotional shifts far more accurately than words. She will sense it immediately. She will feel the missing attention, the gap in closeness, the drop in intimacy, and she will instinctively move to correct it. Because now, your affection feels earned, your attention feels valuable, your time feels rare. Congratulations, she is now investing. And once she is investing, she is bonding. And once she is bonding, she is attached. And once she is attached, she is yours mentally. The law is simple. Reward effort, she deepens. Reward laziness, she withdraws. Your job is to stay disciplined enough to not reward mediocrity. This is how obsession is formed. Part 5. The self-control that makes you untouchable. None of this works if you are secretly needy, attached, emotional, insecure. This only works if you are a man who does not collapse in the face of silence, distance, or uncertainty. Women test men constantly, not because they are evil, but because they are biologically drawn to the strongest emotional center in any dynamic. If you break easily, if you chase after being ignored, if you explain yourself, if you beg to be understood, you lose. Your power comes from this. You can want her without needing her. You can care about her without clinging to her. You can give attention without depending on hers. You can leave the moment your dignity is threatened. This is the final transformation. You become the man who has options. You become the man who moves with purpose. You become the man who does not need permission to take space. You become the man whose time is valuable, whose energy is earned, whose presence is rare. And when you become that man, women don't just want you, they chase you. They compete for you. They crave your attention. They obsess over what you're thinking. They fear losing their place in your life. Because they know you are not like other men. You are Machiavellian in discipline, Stoic in emotion, and unbreakable in self-respect. Conclusion: the darkest and most forbidden Machiavellian method is not manipulation. It is self-mastery. Once you control your emotions, your attention, your silence, your reactions, you control the dynamic, not through force, not through persuasion, but through presence. You become the man who does not chase, does not beg, does not explain, does not need. You become the man she hunts. And once a woman begins hunting you, she never stops thinking about you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.